Yo, thanks for tuning in to the 34th episode of J Talks Crypto. And in this episode, I'm going to be doing some hype beastie kind of shit. I'm going to be talking about how much Bitcoin should you own? How much Bitcoin do I need to get rich? How long will it take me to get rich with Bitcoin? I need some views. I need some subs. So this is the basic ass topic that I'm gonna do. But one of the reasons why I'm doing this topic is because there are a lot of noobs out there, and I don't think there are that many channels that aren't really taking ads that are, I guess, like answering this question. So the number that I was always kind of like told way back when was 0.28. If Bitcoin ever got worldwide adoption, if you had 0.28 Bitcoin, you would be in the top 1% of the population of like wealth or something like that. And that's just because there's 21 million Bitcoins and there's like 8 billion people. And if you took that and you just divided it equally between everybody, the most anybody would have is like 250k satoshis, more or less. If you don't know what a satoshi is, just to give you like think of it like $1 is a Bitcoin and a satoshi is a penny. But instead of there being 100 satoshis in 100 cents in $1, it's there's 100 million satoshis in a Bitcoin. And yeah, that's a little quick explainer on that. I guess one of the things that I did want to add is I wanted to point out the difference between equal distribution and fair distribution. So because there's a big difference. There's a really big difference there. Bitcoin's promise was never and it will never ever to be equally distributed to every person on the planet. It's not really like that. But what it did have is that it had a fair distribution, in the sense that if you were paying attention, you could have got access to it relatively easily, if you chose to dedicate the time to care, to learn how to secure it properly and all that stuff. The system is kind of like designed to reward early adopters and supporters of the network, and I believe that that's on purpose. And we're still early. You know, I like, you know, sometimes you hear this kind of like statistic thrown out, saying something like 100 million people have Bitcoin. I don't think that's true at all. There's no way. I don't have confidence in that statistic. I think maybe 100 million people have financial exposure to Bitcoin. I don't think 100 million people actually have Bitcoin in their hardware wallets in some sort of non-custodial solution. I don't think we're anywhere close to that. I think maybe like being completely generous, like 30 to 40 million. But I doubt it, because like the way that I look at it is like when I got into it, I was completely averse to any sort of like I was just like storing the Bitcoin gave me like a kind of a lot of anxiety. I did not want a hot wallet at all. I was like, okay, a hardware wallet or nothing. And it took me a while to get a hardware wallet, because it's just like, you know, you're spending money on this thing. You know, your dollar cost averaging like maybe $20 a week, and then you find out you got to drop like $50, $60 to fucking secure it. It's just like, bro, this is like almost as much as the investment. What the hell? Yeah, it's just like, I remember setting up the seed words. I really just don't think that most people Like there's 100 million people in the world that have like seed backups or something like that. I just don't see it. I feel like you would be able to talk to more people in day to day life about like just basic uh, like storing a seed. Like nobody knows the word entropy, like or like no one really knows how entropy applies to like Bitcoin and shit like that. So it's just like I just don't see it, man. I don't believe that statistic at all. Now, is that a bad thing? Is it a bad thing that Bitcoin will never have
Equal.
distribution? I don't know. Um, I like to think that right now, like the people that own the asset and have enough sense to keep it in cold storage, not like let people borrow it and shit like that. Um, they are the people with enough foresight that if they have the wealth, that like they're gonna utilize it the right way. Because like I'm sitting on some nice gains, but I'm not gonna like sell my Bitcoin and like spend it now because I just feel like it's way too early. Like I'm buying more at these prices. I feel like the thesis has kind of been like confirmed in a way. Um, so I don't know if it's a bad thing. Um, I think that like generally speaking, I'm an optimist. I like to think that people are inherently good, and you know, so there are a couple of bad eggs out there, but I don't know. I don't like to think that like be so pessimistic on humanity that just to think that we're all fucked. I feel like all the time you hear about like the future and everyone likes to paint a dystopian future where everything is like dark and grim and gloomy, and I just think that's such a fucking horrible view for the future, and you know I don't feel that way. I'm fucking optimistic as fuck. I'm looking forward to it. It's interesting. Um, and even if it didn't exist, and I'm happy it does, I would still be happy. I would still be optimistic for the future because I just believe that people are generally good and we'll figure it the fuck out no matter what. So, yeah. That was a little additional rip that I decided to add. How long will it take me to get rich with Bitcoin? And the answer is it depends. If you're not rich now, you're probably not going to get rich with Bitcoin. You might be a lot better off than you are today if you start stacking some sats once a week at least. Not financial advice. And I hate that I have to say that. It's bullshit, but it is not financial advice. I would just say that being a no coiner generally has a real bad track record. Um, so yeah, how much should you own? How much should you stack? I'd say 1 million satoshis. Like you can get like depending on like if you're watching this video today or within like a month of when it dropped in September October 2021, you could probably get that shit for less than $600. I think anything under $1,000 is a fucking steal. Um, Cause like I even it's like I remember like when I first like I heard about the 0.28 thing. I was like, well, I'm gonna get at least 10 million, like no matter what. Like the point one, like one tenth of a Bitcoin. Uh, I always like kind of like told people, I was like, hey, if you want to like start stacking, get at least a quarter of a Bitcoin. Like if you don't want to like look at the 0.28 like so literally, it's like the fuck is the difference between like 0.28 and 0.25 in the grand scheme of things. Um, and one of the reasons why I was kind of like talking about like how long is it going to take me to get rich with Bitcoin is just like if you buy a million satoshis and you just hodl it, like eventually, like I think that's going to be a decent amount of money, a lot more than it is today. The if you believe in the Bitcoin thesis, you believe that Bitcoin is eventually going to reach like $1 million per coin or like $10 million per coin. So it's like if you believe that, let's say it does hit $10 million per coin, and you have that point 0.1 BTC, or point 0.01, let's say. That's $100,000, and that's not like I said, you're not gonna get like fucking super duper wealthy, super duper rich, but you're, I don't know, like, I feel like $100,000 is kind of nice to have. uh, and that's kind of like where I feel like it's going in the long run. So yeah, that's why I always tell people, like, yeah, get at least get at least 1 million satoshis, and if you want to keep stacking after that, anything else is bonus points. Get 1, 2 million, 5 million, 10 million, 10 million satoshis.com. That's kind of like, if it does go to like 10 million or something like that per coin, that's fucking $1 million. That's kind of wild. For something that you can get right now for like less than $5,000, like, that's crazy. And I know that it's hard to believe, because you're just like, how does this thing that costs like a tenth of a Bitcoin, it's going to how is that gonna be like $1 million in the future? It costs $5,000 now, dude. Like, right now, a tenth of a Bitcoin costs around $5,000. When I kind of like got into this shit, one entire Bitcoin was like $3,000 to $5,000. It's like, I don't know how else to like explain it to people, um, but it's just like, I didn't know that that was like possible, but it's just like, it's hard to believe, and then you just fucking see it happen, and you're just kind of like, oh, it's going up, it's going up forever. Um, so yeah, that's kind of like my little my little video that I kind of wanted to do, to my little hype beastie videos, like, all these freaking YouTubers that they'll be like, get rich with this 5 billion X altcoin. How much Bitcoin do you need to get rich and shit like that? So this is kind of like my version of that video. Um, we did hit 100 subscribers. Check out my episode 33, JTC34. We are doing a giveaway of this episode of this 10 million satoshis.com t-shirt. Like, comment, subscribe. You guys know I hate asking, but that's what we got to do on YouTube to stay relevant, apparently. And I guess this video is getting kind of long, so this is J Talk Script, and I'm signing off.